Okay, so hi everyone and thank you for joining this webinar today. Today we will discuss field security configuration in the Welkin Suite, and as usually we will take it from the time-saving perspective. My name is Vladimir, I'm head of product at the Welkin Suite, and at the same time I'm leading Salesforce development department in our parent company SAF team. In the next about 15-20 minutes, I will introduce you the Welkin Suite and why it's a good idea, why it's a good tool for administrators, not only developers. I will show you how to apply field level security for multiple fields and multiple objects at the same time. I will show you how to easily copy settings from one field or object to other field or profile. Also, I will show you a nice life hack and interesting trick how to deploy field level security between different organizations, and a couple more other but still interesting time-saving features of the Welkin Suite. Of course, at the end we will have a Q&A session, so if you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the questions pane during as we go. So I might try to answer them as we go. Okay, so let's start and let's get it quick. So the Welkin Suite, it's a great tool for development, for Salesforce development and configuration. We are developing this tool for already more than 5.5 years, and we are basing our experience and general tool on our pain as a developers, as administrators, as a WoW team. Sometimes getting something not very good in Salesforce development as an experience. And also we are basing the Welkin Suite functionality on feedback from our users across the world. Unlike other tools for development, we do not focus only on code. We realize and understand that declarative development, point-and-click configuration and customization, it's as important as writing code, and it requires literally the same amount of attention and love from our team. This is why we are providing a lot of cool tools in the IDEs that are suited especially for administrators for configuration purposes, and our main goal is to improve the overall experience of configuring something in Salesforce, especially when we are talking about some massive changes. For example, in the last two webinars, we've covered field usage reports and different field editing options in the Welkin Suite. In the next webinar, next week, we will cover objects permissions and permission sets assignment. And today, let's take a look at the Welkin Suite's field level security editor, or let's say, field level security editor. So let's switch to the IDE and let's talk about it. So we have the Welkin Suite, and I already have my project opened, and on the left side of my screen you can see the admin panel where I have the full list of my objects. Today I will play mostly with my account object, so I will click on it and open it in the editor. Once editor is opened, first of all it will load me a list of fields, but I'm not interested in this list. I will switch to the field level security tab. Once done, the Welkin Suite will start retrieving all the information from Salesforce. So it will get details for FLS for all profiles that you have and for all of the fields in the object. Yeah, it's not as fast as all of us would like to. It might take up to about 20 seconds, but really remember how long it takes in Salesforce to open a page for settings of one field or one profile, and we are just doing this for all data that you have. Once it's loaded, you will see a nice matrix where on the left side you see full list of your fields on this object, and on top you will see your different profiles. I will hide the admin panel right now because I'd like to see more about my configuration. So what do we see here? Let's take a look in much more details. So for each pair or intersection cell of a field and profile, we see corresponding settings. So if a field is read-only, if it's visible editable, or if it's forbidden or not visible at all for a certain profile. You can change the settings very easily, starting from one by one, so clicking through different options and setting correct FLS. You can use right clicks to select whatever setting you would need to. And you can apply a couple more interesting approaches here. So let's take a look at quick actions. We have quick actions available for both fields and profiles. As you might already guess, I believe you all expect it to work this way. You can very easily set up a same level of FLS for a certain field or for a certain profile. It's done in only one click, and you can afterwards fine-tune it somehow, setting some other settings that you would like to. If you change it your mind, you can always click on the reset button and we will return back all of the changes that were just applied and not yet saved to Salesforce. Also, as you might see, we have a couple of interesting small highlights here, so let me go through and cover them. First of all, we are showing you changed cells, changed settings. So with a white-yellow background, we are showing you FLS settings that you have already modified but not yet saved to Salesforce. So as I change, for example, this FLS to forbidden, it gets yellow background. Once I check it back to the visible, it's again transparent. We also show you marks near fields, so you can see if you have applied any changes to the FLS settings for a certain field. So once I will apply setting for this field, you also notice this small mark on the left margin of a field name, so it's a bit more visible to you. And the most prominent highlighting right here on the screen is this red background. So we are specifically highlighting you fields that are not accessible by any profile. We are doing this by purpose, and we have two reasons why we do this. First of all, when you create, let's say, 50 new fields on a field stub, or for example, if you do the same in the schema explorer, in the schema builder, in Salesforce itself, your fields will be created without any FLS settings. So once you've created 50 fields in a field tab, you just switch to FLS tab and hit the unassigned only button, so you will filter out all of the fields which have FLS set up, and you will see only fields that require your attention. Second reason why we are highlighting these fields is just for you to consider if these fields are needed at all, if you might delete them, or if there's anything wrong with your FLS. Maybe they really need some attention from your side, and maybe someone have missed some configuration. So you can always filter out to only unassigned fields and work with them afterwards. As I started with filters, let's take a look what else do we have here. So in my case, it's a small demonstration org, but it's already a huge amount of information, and sometimes it's pretty hard to navigate in so much information. Yeah, it's always, I'd say, better to have too much information rather than not to have anything, but still, let's filter out some of the fields and profiles. For example, right now I want to be interested in all profiles, so I can click on the Filter Profiles button, and I can select what exactly profiles I would like to see. I will do it in the fastest way, so I will select none, and I will filter out, let's say, just partner profiles. I will select all, I clear filter, and I can select a couple more other profiles. If this is your standard approach, if this is your, let's say, standard set of profiles that you are interested in, you can always hit the Save for the Project button, and afterwards, even in a week, in a month, in a year, if you reopen this project, if you open any object, and if you open field level security configuration, we will still show you only these fields, only these profiles, so you won't need to filter out them on your own. In my case, I'm okay without saving this for the project, so I just close this filter. Then we have filter for fields. I have a quick filter that I can use to filter out something like amount. No, there is no amount here because it's a count. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, all fields with A. Or I can clear this quick filter and hit on the filter icon on a field name and select manually what fields I'd like to see, or maybe even apply some conditions like contains, I don't know, address. Okay, so I have only 2 address fields here. In this way you can fine-tune your view of FLS for your object and then apply all of the settings with quick actions, because our quick actions are applied only to a visible part of FLS settings. So for example, if I right now hit billing address and shipping address and like apply quick actions to make these fields forbidden for all profiles. If I will get back to the filter and show again all profiles, you can see that all of them are like my settings were applied only to visible set of profiles. Let me clear everything and let me show you my favorite feature in the FLS editor. So let's imagine that we have a certain field, I don't know, let's say, let it be industry. And I have a couple more other fields that I need to have the same FLS as my industry field. Instead of clicking through all of the profiles on my own or playing with XML or trying to do anything else, it's solved in just, let's say, 5 clicks. Right click on a field, select bulk apply tool. Then we open you a window with a full list of all other fields. So what I've said, it should be account manager and what it be is Salesforce partner. You have here the same options as usual in the Welkin Suite, so you can filter, you can select all, you can like mix filters as you want. But in my case, I will select just a couple of fields and apply the settings. Here you are. Now you can see that all of these fields are like right now have the same settings, and you can very clearly see what exactly changes we've applied. So for example, for active, we've changed only permissions for contact manager. In absolutely the same way, you can apply bulk apply settings to other profiles. For example, from a contact manager profile, I hit bulk apply tool, and now I select some certain profiles that should have the same settings as my contact manager. Done. So right now I have lots of changes already kind of done in the Welkin Suite, and once I'm happy with them, I just hit the apply button and the Welkin Suite will deploy these changes to Salesforce. So again, this process takes about 20 seconds to deploy and about 20 seconds to refresh back the information, but still applying changes to how many? Like 20 fields and I'd say 20 profiles. How long would it take in Salesforce with like lots of different pages opened? And I even can have, I don't know, coffee break while it's applying it. Too much changes, so let's wait. By the way, while it's working, let me show you another thing, and let me get back my admin panel. I have another project opened in the organization, in the Welkin Suite. So it's our the Welkin Suite organization that we use. I will open account in the editor as well. I will switch here to the FLS tab, and I will load here till it loads data. Good question from Thomas Barrett. Can you deploy to a Git repository, for example? Unfortunately, no. I even won't say that it's somewhere in a pipeline thanks to Salesforce and the way how it handles profiles and like XML files for profiles. So it's kind of tricky thing, and in order to like not break anything in your Git repository, you will need to repull almost everything from Salesforce. It takes too much time. So here I'd say like you can stick to your usual approaches, how you kind of back up or pull your profile settings to a Git repository and like use it. So the Welkin Suite is like in the nearest couple months at least is not going to support anything like interesting in terms of saving FLS settings into Git repository into XML files. Hope this answers. Okay, so I have my account object opened on a second organization, and here we have absolutely different set of fields, somehow different set of profiles, and as you might guess, absolutely different settings. And if I would like to apply settings from this organization to settings from my demonstration organization, I will need to do just like 3 actions. First of all, I export these settings to a JSON format. So I will save it to my videos. I will remove this file. Let me export it once more. So I will save it to my videos, so I will find it. Now I get back to my account object in my demonstration organization. So you can see that it's demo project. And here I click on the import tab. Again, I pointed to the JSON file that I've just saved, and what you can see, the WellConcealed somehow applied that like FLS from my another organization to the current organization. So it's a very, let's say, edge case example where I have completely different organizations with different fields, with different profiles. But this illustrates you that this approach of importing, exporting FLS settings between different organizations, it's absolutely fail-safe. So even if you don't have any fields in your target environment, even if you have some mismatches in profiles, the WellConcealed won't break it, the WellConcealed won't fail, and it won't require you to go through that XML files on your own. We will handle this ourselves, and we will apply changes from source organization to a target organization only to the matching items. Once I'm happy with the settings, again, for example, if I want to migrate settings from my reorganization to a demo organization, I can decide to be very careful about certain fields or certain profiles. For example, for this profile, I want to revert settings for this field as well, and for this couple fields as well. Now I'm again happy with settings that I have, and I can apply them to Salesforce in absolutely the same manner. So in this way, you can somehow safely deploy FLS. Honestly, again, referring to Thomas' question with Git, I'm not a big fan of deploying or migrating FLS settings using XML and Ant migration tool or CIs. In many cases, it's painful, and especially for administrators, it requires too much manual work and knowledge of XML for like stuff that is stored in profiles. And if you talk about a more admin tool of change sets, again, personally, I'm not a fan of using change sets for deploying FLS settings because, again, it's painful. It's painful, and in many cases, at least in our experience for the last 5 years, we've encountered many cases where we've had lots of issues. Something was not deployed, something was not migrated, some was migrated not correctly. So it always applies a lot of testing and sometimes reapplying these changes manually. So in this case, I prefer to just pretty clearly import, export, apply, and I'm done. It's absolutely a safe way to deploy your FLS settings from one organization to another one. And the last one that I would like to point you out, it's report to a CSV format. So once I click this button, again, the WellConcealed proposes me to save the settings somewhere. So I will just copy location, let it be named the same way. Now I will get to this location. Yep. Now you can see some of my videos loading, but instead I will just grab Excel here, and you can see my FLS, save it as a backup report reference in a CSV format. It doesn't look readable, so I will just insert a table. My table has headers, first column, okie dokie, and now you're ready to share this information with anyone in your team, or maybe with customers, with end users, or save it somewhere as a backup for yourself, I don't know, for example, in your wiki page. So in this way, you can see what exactly was the FLS configuration at some certain point. So it's done just in a couple clicks. So here's the FLS editor in the WellConcealed. I believe that I've showed you one of the most interesting features in terms of the configuring Salesforce organizations, and I hope you liked it. I hope it was helpful for you. And now it's your turn to try it yourself. So open the WellConcealed website, wellconcealed.com, read more about the WellConcealed. You can find some helpful information here. Get the WellConcealed yourself, install it, try it yourself, and let us know what you think, because we would like to hear what is your feedback, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you would like something to be improved. And in the case if you would like to get a bit more personal demonstration, a bit more detailed demonstration for yourself, for your team, even for a meetup, just feel free to let us know. I'll be happy to arrange it and to perform it for yourself, again, for anyone. And yep, and right now let's switch to your questions for the next couple minutes. Okay, so first question from Justin: how does the FOS CSV import match profiles? If you have a profile with a different name but still on the same FOS, can we manipulate the CSV so it finds a match? Yep, you can manipulate it. So in terms of import-export, we use a JSON format. So like CSV is only for reporting, but a JSON file, it's absolutely straightforward. You can open it, modify it a bit, and yeah, do whatever you want with a JSON file. But in general, we match using field API names and profile names. So here you can see, for example, if your, I don't know, TVS standard user is called somehow in a different way, just replace it in the whole file. And supply this JSON file to the Welkin Suite, and we'll match it with a profile of TVS special user. So it's very straightforward and very simple. Next question from Eric: can we export FOS from multiple objects at the same time? Nope, not at the moment. I don't see too much use cases for this. Maybe just only like kind of full backup or full snapshot. We might like implement this option in the future, but it will take, I'd say, a couple minutes. I'm not a fan of actions that are taking so much time. So if I have like 50 objects and getting data for each of them takes about 20 seconds, we might somehow optimize it, but in general it will take about 5 minutes to save this full CSV report. Might be interesting, so I will note this up and we will think about this. Yeah, for I clarified a bit for multiple JSONs. Agree. Exporting multiple JSONs or like all JSONs at the same time makes much more sense, and it's a nice option. I'd say that it's worth considering and implementing somehow. I hope this summer, because I like this idea. We use this feature very much in our own teams, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it. So yep, thanks. A question from Ajat Havmani. Sorry if I've spelled your name incorrectly. Anyway, I have my great accent. So when do we plan on having support for FOS to file system for version control? Honestly, I can't provide estimates for this. So it won't happen in the next couple months. And not sure if Salesforce will change something with the way how they handle XML files for profiles. We'll implement it one of the first, or like the first ones. But otherwise, it's very painful and time-consuming option. So no estimations for this. Sorry. Okie dokie, guys. So if you don't have any more questions right now, again, like please feel free to try the Welkin Suite yourself. And if you have any more questions in the future, if you would like to learn something more about functionality, questions how something works, don't hesitate to contact me or our team. So you can see my contacts here. I'll be happy to answer you as soon as possible. And thank you very much for spending your time today on this webinar. I hope you liked it. I hope it was helpful for you. And see you next week when we'll discuss objects permissions and permission sets assignment in the WellConcealed. Bye bye, guys.